Welcome to the Serious Sarcasm Podcast. My name is Jay DeRozier. Everything you hear is purely my opinion and absolutely not gospel truth. If you do find yourself getting a little bit too worked up over what I say, feel free to take your opinion and, well, you know where. Now that we got that straightened out, sit back, relax, and you might want to get yourself some popcorn because it's going to be a long one. Enjoy the show, yo.
What is going on? My name is Jay DeRozier. Welcome to the Serious Sarcasm Podcast. What's that, Arsenio Hall? All right, y'all. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Another great week. Another great 4 topics. And, of course, a Bro What You Want segment. You already know how this podcast works for those my returning listeners. To my new listeners, I just explained how this podcast works. Also, if you have a problem with what I say or how you feel about what I say, guess what? Refer to the first 10 seconds of every episode. Kiss my black ass. Anyways, I do want to give a quick shout out to none other than the voice in the sky, the podcast, Dr. Phil.
Hey, what's going on? Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, y'all. We appreciate you guys listening in, tuning in each and every Saturday. Also, each and every week, we're making more content, making more TikToks, all that stuff.
Bro, this is episode 18?
This is episode 18.
Whoa.
Episode 18. We getting there.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man.
Most podcasts don't make it past episode 6, by the way.
For real?
Yeah.
Most podcasts don't make it past 6?
Yeah, they don't.
I would know.
They don't have the podcast doctor, so.
True. Plus, I would know. I had 2 podcasts that failed that make it to 6. So,
If they didn't?
well, technically they did, because if you put all of the episodes together, it got a good 20.
Okay.
But this is the most consistent I've been because I put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah, all right.
And I got a great person producing the podcast, man. In the podcast, Dr. Phil in Orlando, Florida. Please follow him at the podcast, Dr. Phil. But anyways, guys, we have 4 topics. These topics are not more so current events. One of them is actually 2 of them are. 2 of them are current events about what's going on social media. The other 3 are more so heart to hearts with myself, Phil, and the camera and our listeners. This first topic is about love, business, and when to leave relationships. So this one was a topic that was suggested by a couple of followers. If you guys haven't seen of this video, I have a video that's pretty popular on Instagram and TikTok. It's a video of me talking about how much I love girls with fupas.
Yeah.
How much I love girls with the pancake nips, little pepperoni nipples, you know what I'm saying? No, not little. I like the big dark brown nipples. It's my steez. But in that conversation I had with Trey on that episode, we also spoke about relationships. In our conversation with relationships, somebody asked me, hey, Jay, do you think you can speak about when it's the right time or appropriate time to leave relationships? And when that person asked me it wasn't supposedly just about, friendships or love relationships or anything like that. It was more so about business and family. So this is what I would say to that person. And this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to let Phil chime in whenever he feels like it. It's, we do it like, how we do it here at the Serious Sarcasm Podcast.
Let's go.
Me personally, I feel like a lot of people in this day and age, they leave relationships when they feel like it doesn't satisfy them anymore, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, or even financially. Me personally, I'm the type of guy where I'm cool with going through the tough side of things to see. I'm cool with going through the tunnel because I see the light at the end of it. Now, if the light is just too far, guess what? I'm going to turn my back around and go towards the other end of the tunnel that I came into. What I mean by that is, a lot of times when we go in relationships, whether it be professional, whether it be emotional, sexual, intimate relationships, whether it be with our friendships, whether it be even our own family members, we always think of the potential of the good or potential of like the silver lining or whatever the case is, right, Phil?
Yeah.
But a lot of the times now in this day and age, and more we're seeing people for who they are and what they're always going to be. I feel like now more than ever, people need to just take their own happiness into accord. And what I mean by take your own happiness into accord, that doesn't mean shit on somebody else to make yourself feel happy. I think when it comes to love, when it comes to sex, when it comes to dating, when you leave a toxic relationship or relationship that doesn't fulfill you anymore, I think you need to leave with a sense of understanding, at least have that open form communication with your partner. Me personally, every relationship I ever left, I had that open form of communication with my partner. Like, hey, this is not working out because of point A, point B, point C. I've addressed this a couple of times. Nothing has changed. And I just think it's better for me to leave now while I have my head on straight rather than leave later when you and I are at odds. That's just me.
Okay. That's mature.
It is mature. And I've grown. Because back in my toxic days, Phil, back in my toxic days, you would have thought I was in the circus the way I was juggling women.
Oh, no.
Just being real, man. Just being real. And then when it comes to business relationships, man, I think business relationships are a little bit different. You could correct me if I'm wrong, Phil. Because I don't think business relationships should be emotional, even though a lot of emotion is attached to business nowadays. I don't think it should be emotional, but I think business is different than actual like friendship or a partner relationship. Because I think business relationships, when you decide to walk away, 9 times out of 10, you should have a plan.
Yep.
Like, right?
Yeah. But I mean, sometimes business relationships aren't like violent, you know what I mean? You're not like, they're not like that toxic. I mean, where you could lose your life.
This is true. This is true.
It's not like my job is cheating on me with another job.
I mean, granted, the only thing with business relationships is like sometimes when they get rid of you, they already have your
Oh yeah, we're totally expendable and replaceable.
Yeah, you got your replacement waiting in the wings.
I blame Beyonce.
Don't blame Beyonce.
She said it.
She said, "I'm gonna quit my job tonight." But in all seriousness, y'all, man, I just really think. Let me just be frank, man. I've said this before in the podcast that I learned in my life is that you can't force people to do what they don't want to do or what they don't feel like doing. That goes on any level of anything. The only time you can make somebody do what they don't feel like doing is a child. And that's you just teaching them right from wrong, left from right, whatever the case is. But me personally, I don't personally feel like you can teach an adult man or adult woman to love you correctly. And if they're not loving you correctly, walk away. Fellas, if she not doing what you want her to do, whether it's giving you the super head 3000, the super soaker 3000, supporting you in your hopes, dreams, goals, and aspirations, walk away. Ladies, if he's not doing the same thing, vice versa, walk away, man. I just think people stay in these toxic relationships because they want that Instagram happy relationship. And then when they get that failure, they don't know how to face that failure head on because they've been faking it their whole relationship or whole their lives about how happy they really are. Stop looking for happiness in other people. Please. I think that's I had a relationship a couple of years ago, right? I'm not speaking about my son's mother, by the way. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, he's talking about her. I'm not talking about her. I had a relationship a couple of years ago, and I call her a situationship because we were never official. She was never like my girlfriend, like my dead ass my girlfriend.
Okay.
And I was going through a tough time in my life, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. I had just recovered from cancer. I was trying to find myself sexually because all my body parts weren't working sexually like they should have been because I just beat testicular cancer. And I was trying to find happiness in somebody or in something. And I found it in that young lady. And that wasn't fair to her because once I realized like, yo, this situation is toxic because I'm depending on you to make me happy, I walked away from it. And I walked away too late because by the time I walked away, her and I wanted to choke each other out. And I'm not going to apologize to her because I already apologized to her when we broke up. But to her to that situation specifically, I should have been more emotionally mature and known that this wasn't going anywhere because I was just going through a tough time in my life, and she was the only thing that made me happy. Besides, obviously, my son. She was the only person that made me feel like a man, made me feel happy, made me feel good, right?
Okay.
And I used her for that. And when I was done using her, I threw her to the wayside.
Oh shit.
And that wasn't fair to her. And I'll be the first one to tell you, like I regret that. I don't have a lot of regrets in my life. That's one thing I truly regret because that's not fair to her. She knows who she is. If she ever sees this, she's gonna know who she is. And this is not my public way of saying like, I'm so sorry, I want you back. It's none of that shit. Fuck all that.
You sure?
No, I'm pretty sure. If I see her tomorrow, I would. If she was on fire in front of me, I wouldn't spit on her to put it out.
Oh.
Because of how things ended on the other end. Like I'll talk about that at a later topic. I'll probably talk about that with Trey and Sneak peek. Foreshadowing. But that situation proved to me, and it made me grow up emotionally very fast. And I was 26, 27, so I should have been emotionally mature at the time, and I wasn't. I wasn't. I'll be the first one to tell you I wasn't. And that's why I feel like when I get these type of topics, when people want me to talk about love and relationships and 50-50, when it talks about 50-50 in the aspect of giving and taking and receiving and just giving love to each other, I feel I'm in a better spot to speak on these things because I know how to give good advice on these things because I was the toxic person in the relationship and I've been the person who was shitted on in the relationship. And I'll be the first one to tell you, man, it's tough, bro. It's tough to wake up, look in the mirror and be like, yo, what you're doing is wrong. What you're doing is not the man you want to be. What you're doing is not the person you want to be. You need to do better. You need to do better. And that's what I would say to that person who submitted this topic for us to talk about is whether it be in friendships, relationships, or even business, do what you feel is right for you. As long as you're not harming anybody, do what you feel is right for you. Don't waste people's time. Find yourself first before you decide to dive into a relationship. Before you dive into a business relationship, make sure this is something you truly want to do. Because like Phil said earlier in this episode, and Lord knows he didn't even know this was going to tie into what I was going to say, most podcasts, for example, end within 6 episodes. That's a business choice that you made to go into this business. And then you didn't have the wherewithal to keep pushing through and push through the dark time. And now you failed that business because you didn't have that trust in yourself and you didn't really fully believe in it. And you didn't do what's right for you. I'm telling people all the time, bro, do what's right for you. That's the only way you're going to get through this stuff. Phil, you got anything else to say?
No, I agree with you 100%, bro. I left my career at ESPN because I wanted to do what was right for me. And I knew me staying on the radio was not right for me. Even though it was my life's goal and I did it, but I knew where podcasts were headed. And I knew what I had in my head was valuable to other people. So that's why I left. So do what's best for you.
Exactly. And that's what I can say to people. Just do what's best for you when it comes to that. As long as you ain't fucking nobody over.
And don't listen to anybody else.
Exactly. There's no point.
Yeah, because everybody told me not to do it. They're like, oh, you're going to leave your dream job at ESPN? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
It's crazy, too. Like, people tell me all the time, like, bro, you really podcasting? Like, really? Like, you're one of those dudes on podcast?
Really? Really? People say that about you?
They say that all the time. They be like, oh, like, there's been times where, like, a girl asks me, like, what I do for a living. I'll be like, yo, I'm a podcaster. I run my own YouTube account. I run my own media company. And the first thing they'll say to me is, oh, podcast? So you talk about, like, how women ain't shit? Or, like, all men are high value? I was like, no, I shit on women and shit on men both. I kick everybody's back in. I don't pander to anybody. Like, if you ain't shit, I'm shitting on you. That's just how I feel. Like, I genuinely think everyone, any gender, any creed, any race, any religion can get it. You can get your back kicked in from the Serious Sarcasm Podcast.
Yeah.
But anyways, to our next topic, I want to talk about, Phil, what's the difference between following your dreams and chasing money?
Because sometimes your dreams don't involve money.
Exactly. I wanted to speak on this real quick because a lot of people think that the second you achieve all your dreams, goals, and aspirations, the money comes. Honestly, I know somebody who's doing their dream job, like literally doing their dream job, and she's the happiest person on earth, and she's only making like 55, 60K a year. She's doing a lot of Americans. To be fair, I'm not gonna sneeze at or at 50, 60K a year, but she's doing her dream job and she's happy as can be. She just bought her house. She has a car. It's just her cat, her 2 cats, I think, and she has a dog. She's the happiest person on earth. Her 2 cats, her dog, and her daughter. She's the happiest person on earth. I'm telling you, Phil. And she's doing her dream. She doesn't care about the money. She's doing her dream. The reason why I say the situations is because I feel like sometimes if you use one to chase the other, you can end up getting neither.
Oh man, yeah.
If you use money to chase your dreams, you can end up getting neither. If you use your dreams just to chase money, you can end up getting neither. End up with nothing and sitting there trying to reflect on what you did wrong. Me personally, I I know this is my dream. I know this is my goal, is my aspiration, and running this media company is a big thing for me. And I know it's gonna breed money. Don't get me wrong. I understand it, and I know it's gonna breed headaches because sooner or later I'm gonna hire a staff. Sooner or later I'm gonna hire other podcasters to launch other shows on my network. Sooner or later I'm gonna probably hire an intern. I'm gonna hire an assistant. That bleeds money out of me, and it's because this is a dream I really wanted. I grew up listening to Funkmaster Flex, Ebro, Darden. I grew up listening to Wendy Williams. I grew up listening to Ryan Seacrest, Big Boy's Neighborhood. Like I can go down the list of all these radio greats that I listen to. People on BET like Big Tigger, AJ and Free. Let me think. Terrence J, Roski Diaz. Like I grew up listening to these people, watching these people, and thinking to myself like, I want to be in those same spaces, and not in the same spaces of being famous. I could care less if I'm famous, but I genuinely think a lot of people just chase the bag or chase these dreams because they see, like, for example, Phil, we had a conversation on this podcast. I forgot the young lady's name, but she is the host of Call Her Daddy, right?
Okay.
That popular podcast. And we had an episode where we spoke and we shouted it out like she got $100-something million from Serious XM, right? And a lot of people started launching podcasts because they saw her get $100 million. They saw the Kelsey brothers, Travis and Jason Kelsey. It's so weird to say Jason because my first name is Jason. So weird for me to speak in the third person kind of. But Travis and Jason Kelsey got a $100 million deal or $80 million deal from Amazon. So everybody thought like, oh, if I start a podcast and just say outlandish funny shit, I'll get a $100 million deal, this, that, the third from Amazon or Spotify or iHeartMedia, whoever the case is, right? This is a prime example of chasing the bag. You're going to end up with nothing. Phil said it once again. Podcast episode ends usually within 6 episodes. And a lot of you guys, and this is not just podcasts in general, this is just business in general. I feel like if you don't have a true passion for whatever you're doing, you're not going to end up with any money, and you're going to end up failing.
Bro, I tell, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I tell podcasters this too, because when I do my consults, and I think I told you this, is that when podcasters want to start a podcast, they immediately try to figure out how they're going to monetize their show.
Got you.
And I'm like, it don't work like that. You got to build your brand first. So I try to be completely open and transparent when it comes to that. So, but yeah, have realistic expectations too.
I agree 100%. That my expectations were honestly 100% realistic. I knew my first episode I'd probably get max 20 plays, right? And that's just me speaking. That's me being honest. Like at the time the first episode dropped, I had about 100 followers on Instagram, probably maybe 15 subscribers on YouTube. I was like, I'm probably gonna get 20 plays max. Now that was what, 3 months ago, Phil?
Yeah.
3 months ago.
4 months.
3-4 months ago. Now I'm having videos on YouTube hit 10,000 plays. I'm having videos on YouTube hit 5,000 plays. I've had a video on TikTok go viral every 2 weeks from this podcast. It's because I stick to it. I stuck to my guns. Like I knew what I was doing wrong, what I was doing right, and I analyzed the situation. I try to be better. That's the reason, and the reason for that is because I have a true passion for this. My passion burns brighter and brighter. Sometimes I get insomnia in the middle of the night, and I'm just editing videos for YouTube.
You're a creative, that's why. And the reason why that happens super late is because it's quiet.
And it happens a lot for me. Like Saturday nights happens a lot for me, bro. Saturday nights I used to just go out, go to the bar or whatever, hang out with my friends, my sister-in-law, drink, smoke a little hookah, you know what I'm saying, chilling, you know what I'm saying? But now I find solace in just staying home and just grinding. And when I go to sleep finally at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., I'll wake up the next morning at like 10 a.m. on a Sunday. I'll be thinking to myself like, damn, I did all that work. I'm so proud of myself. Mm-hmm. Time to start uploading to YouTube. And I think, I just think it's to a point where I get it. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to, have a different life. And I get that wholeheartedly. But don't put yourself in a situation where you can't go back to your other life. Mm-hmm. As cliche and as vague as that sounds, if you know what I mean, you'll get it. Like you'll get it. And I really don't know what else to say about that, man. It's just people are sending me in topics, and I appreciate some of these topics, but it's like, how much more do you want me to say on some of these topics? Because it's just stuff that you've probably heard since you were a kid from your elders, you know.
Yeah.
And granted, I'm probably a peer, not an elder to a lot of y'all. So it coming from me, it probably doesn't hold as much weight. But it's just me being real. You know what I'm saying, Phil?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But I want to get into a more upbeat conversation. You ready for this?
Okay.
Phil.
Yes.
Women are always right. Women are always right about your friends. Women are always right about their intuition. Women can smell your BS from a mile away. Women can also tell you when not to do something and you won't take their advice. Ladies and gentlemen, women are always right. Let me explain why that's bullshit. All right. Women are always right. Women are only right about certain things. For example, I think it's annoying that women are always right about intuition, but they can never smell when a nigga is playing them from a mile away. Women are always right about, that dude that you hanging out with is probably not the right person for you to be hanging out with. But yet and still, you don't know about your best friend that's fucking your boyfriend or doing some fuck shit behind your back or talking shit about you behind your back. Women are always right when it comes to, this person may not be the right guy or right man or whatever the case is for them. But guess what? They still pick them. Why? Because women are always right. Phil, I'm going to let you take over on that part.
Big one.
How you feel about what I said about that?
Dude, I'm married. So my wife is always right. Even when she's wrong, she's right. So I already know this game. And
I hate the whole happy wife, happy life.
I argue with her this all the time.
Happy spouse, happy house.
No, but yeah, she's my wife is older than me, so I'm already in my late 30s, and she's older than me. So, she's in her 40s, so she doesn't see that. it's happy wife, happy life, and I disagree. But what do I know? Women are always right.
Women are always right. Like shit, women are always right. I mean, let's be fair. Women are right when they think men ain't shit. Women are right when they say, hey, my intuition told me you're cheating, and then they go through your phone and they don't find anything because you weren't cheating.
And then they get mad that they say, you hit it.
Yeah, you hit it. You already deleted it before I looked at it. You just told me you're looking at it right now. How the fuck I delete it? I notice too, when women are mad at you, you know what they always do?
What?
Once a woman's mad at you, everything you do is little.
Oh, you doing a little podcast?
Oh, I see you doing your little podcast over there. Oh, I see you at work on lunch eating your little food with your little friend. Oh, they see you keying over there. So they be like, I see you having fun with your little friend over there. Like, don't get mad at me because I'm still enjoying life and you over there in the corner being miserable. Like, baby girl, I'm gonna make it do with it. And then, in the words of Jamie Foxx, I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby. Like, I'm one of the rare people where you could be mad at me all you want. I'm still going to have to go live my life. And then when we get behind closed doors, we can discuss our issue. I had a situation once. I was dating a girl, and we got into an argument in public, right? And I was like, yo, we're going to enjoy this night, but when we get in the car on the way home, we're going to have a discussion. You are not going to embarrass me in public. Mm-hmm. She wanted to keep embarrassing me in public. I walked her to where all the Uber pickups were at, called her Uber, put her in the car, went right back inside and went to go enjoy my night. Everybody was like, damn, where she at? I'm like, she in the Uber on the way home. Damn, you sent her home in the Uber? You didn't even drive her home? No, nigga, I want to have fun. She over here ruining the night. I'm not going home to that nonsense. She could sit home and go to bed mad by herself.
Smart.
You know why? Because women are always right.
Women are always right. Dropping it. When you were in your relationship, did she ever admit when she was actually wrong though?
No.
Or did she gaslight you?
Gaslight the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Like, I had a girl once who went through my phone looking for something, couldn't find anything because I wasn't doing anything wrong, and it was like, oh, you had a sense that I was gonna delete it. I'm like, you telling me I have woman's intuition, the same intuition that just told you that to go through my phone and you didn't find nothing? How did that make any sense?
Were you cheating?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't. But that's beside the fact if I was.
You sure?
I wasn't cheating.
Okay.
That time I wasn't.
All right.
That time I wasn't.
I believe you.
Yeah. That time I learned my lesson. I was like, okay, I've been doing. I got caught twice. I'm gonna stop cheating. Mind you, this is my back in my toxic era when I didn't give a fuck about nothing or nobody. But I stopped doing that shit because, like I said in the beginning of this episode, like I didn't stop cheating because it's not the right thing to do. I stopped cheating because I got sick of putting my own selfish wants and needs in front of my partners. Does that make sense?
Yes and no.
Like, okay, so the times I would cheat is like, my partner's not giving me no sex. Okay, I know how to get it real quick.
Oh, okay.
My partner is on her period, so she not feeling well. Okay, let me bring her some chocolate and flowers, make her feel good, and then let me go on the streets and go find something real quick. And that's what I mean by like, now I have, I'll be honest with you, I probably have the best sexual discipline of any man on earth right now.
Oof.
I kid you not. Because I don't allow the temptation of the skin to bother me anymore. Like, you could be the finest girl, booty, titties, flat stomach, beautiful face, beautiful smile, cheekbones is high. The second you smile, you light up the whole room.
I've seen it and I've bugged you about it.
It's like, girl, you won't move me. And you see me firsthand. Like, you won't move. You won't deter me at all. I'm going to stay exactly where I'm at. You will not deter me at all. Because I just learned, like, that don't get me. That hasn't got me anywhere. Now, the sexual discipline I've been practicing for the past couple of years has gotten me way farther in life. And I love it. I love it here. So, like I said, women are always right. Your intuition works for everything, except for when your man is cheating on you. Anyways, speaking of intuition, not intuition, but speaking of being right or being wrong, Phil.
Yeah.
Do you remember who Le'Veon Bell is?
Yeah, man, he was running back for Steelers, wasn't he?
Yeah, Steelers, the Jets. He actually played for the Chiefs, actually, for a little bit. He kind of rode the bench for the most part.
Didn't he make a rap album?
Yeah, and it didn't go far like his NFL career. But the reason why we're talking about Le'Veon Bell is a devout Trump supporter.
Oh, really?
Devout. Like, he's against, reproductive rights for women. He called Kamala Harris a bitch and a hoe and all that other shit. And guess what Le'Veon Bell got caught doing, Phil?
What's that?
For somebody who's a Trump supporter, he got caught in a transsexual woman's DMs.
Oh, shit.
And he was spitting the most ridiculous rhetoric about trans and gay people on social media. And that trans woman decided, was like, oh, where are you talking spicy? This you? Put the text message, put the DM on the screen. Le'Veon Bell sends a what's good message to this trans person. For example, because Le'Veon Bell tweeted, I don't want my daughter to have to compete or share a locker room with men. The trans woman responded by posting a DM on some, like, you spewing this rhetoric like you wasn't in my DMs and you knew I was a trans. Yo, this is one thing I've learned in my day of, let me sit up. This is one thing I've learned. Yo, a lot of these famous people, these athletes, these people who go so hard against one side of the coin are actually benefiting or trying to benefit from that side of the coin. I spoke about this on the last episode with Caitlyn Jenner. That gentleman is the devout Trump supporter, has all the values that Trump has. And guess what? Deep down in that person's heart, that person is still a white man. Because the first thing Trump announced, he said, I'm going to announce that there are only two genders, male or female, and the gender that you have to identify as is the gender that you had at birth. So guess what? Le'Veon Bell's doing the same exact thing. You against gay people, trans people, blah, 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 and come to find out you've been in the trans person's DMs knowing that they're trans because you was trying to get a little digger.
Well, bro, a lot of senators, a lot of pastors, a lot of people in power who are against stuff like this. Closeted homosexuals themselves, man.
Matter of fact, let's talk about pastors for a second. A lot of these pastors who are Trump supporters are the main ones getting caught raping and affecting these little women and kids, bro.
Yeah.
They the main ones talking about drag queens this, transsexuals that, transsexual bathrooms that, gender neutral bathrooms that, and they the main ones having sex, raping, and molesting these women and children left and right. And I'm not saying Le'Veon Bell's a part of that shit, but Le'Veon Bell, you're not too far from it. And I stand on that shit. I stand on that 10 toes. Like, my nigga, you was in a trans person's DMs and then you the same one talking shit about trans people. How the fuck you sound?
Ridiculous.
I'm not even angry about it, honestly. I'm genuinely not angry about it, but it's the thing that annoys me the most is people who are hypocrites, bro. genuinely people who are fucking hypocrites. That's the thing that annoys me the most. And Le'Veon Bell is a prime example of that. It's never going to change.
No.
It's never going to change. Because I guarantee you by the time this episode comes out and people are going to roast Le'Veon Bell about it, within a week, people are going to forget about it.
Oh, yep.
Isn't that how shit works?
Yep. We'll be distracted by something else.
Yeah, like some celebrity will have a nip slip, some AI photo will come out, some NFL team will score an amazing touchdown, some college football player will make an amazing catch.
Well, we found water in the ocean. Some shit like that.
Yeah, it's going to be something so stupid like, oh my God, Phil, there's sand on the beach.
No way.
Oh my God, there's sand on the beach.
Do you know the sky's blue?
The sky is blue. Really? That's amazing. What were we talking about before?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Le'Veon Bell.
Exactly.
We don't care about that. The sky's blue now. That's literally how life goes. So it is what it is. Yeah. Anyways, y'all, to end this episode on a more lighter note, let's talk about a bro. What you
bro, what you on?
Ladies and gentlemen, our Bro What You Want segment comes from the great state of Maryland. Oh, you can play the clip. I'm sorry.
Oh. All right, hold on.
Taleka Brown spoke with first responders after her 13-year-old daughter was shot yesterday afternoon. This was what she told them.
Mom is advising that she arrived home like this. She came home, but she was already bleeding and apparently had a gunshot wound to the back of her neck.
And they're advising that the patient was shot in her neck by a homeless person.
But prosecutors say the mom was the one who allegedly pulled the trigger and shot her daughter.
So, for those who didn't understand the story, a young teenage girl, 13 years old, called 911 because she was shot in the neck. She was bleeding. Reports say originally that it was a homeless person reportedly that shot this young 13-year-old girl. Come to find out, it was her mother that shot her in the neck. Come to find out, they were in a heated argument, and her mother told her to lie to police. Later on in the hospital, when the 13-year-old girl was by herself and she was questioned by medical personnel and officers, she admitted that, no, my mother shot me. We got into a heated argument. We've been getting into a lot of arguments lately. So Miss Taleka Brown was arrested and, of course, charged with attempted murder, especially an endangerment, welfare of a child, all those good things. And the reason why she gets a bro what you want, nigga, my son is 5 years old right now. I'm 31 years old. My son is 5. There's nothing my son could do to get me so annoyed to the point where I would shoot him. Like, what the hell? You know what this reminded me of when I heard this story?
What's that?
Because supposedly the mother shot her from the top of the steps and the daughter was at the bottom of the staircase or some shit like that. That reminded me of that scene from Precious when Monique and Precious were going at it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Phil, could you fathom that shit ever happened in your household?
Hell no.
It don't make no sense.
Nope.
So to Lecca, yo, you're going to jail now. Going to jail now. Mm-hmm. And you get a bro with
bro, what you on?
Ladies and gentlemen, I did hint at this before, and I'm going to hit at it again. We got some great things coming to the Serious Sarcasm family. Obviously, the Serious Sarcasm family is under the J. DeRozier Media Network blanket, or the JDM Network. And we also have a couple other things we're going to announce in the upcoming weeks. Stay tuned. It's going to be great. And we're going to have some fun on this network, man. So anyways, y'all, this has been another great episode of Serious Sarcasm Podcast. My name is Jay DeRozier. That's the podcast, Dr. Phil. You guys have a great one. God bless. Stay safe out there. All right, y'all. We out.